Good news, bad news. Find out why you need both in this episode of 5 Minutes Closer. I'm Vaughn Weatherford, and this is 5 Minutes Closer. For the next 5 minutes, let's explore some biblical truths and apply them to your life. No podcast, including this one, can transform your life or give you what you really need. Only Jesus can do that. You can find out why in what I've called the first five episodes of 5 Minutes Closer. Each following episode explores scriptural truths that, if you follow them, will bring you 5 minutes closer to the person God created you to be. Let's see if we can get you 5 minutes closer. I always hate it when people ask me, do you want to hear the good news or the bad news? That never works out well. It usually means that whatever the bad news is, it will overshadow the good news. In that case, it doesn't matter which one comes first. It's like asking me if I want a Twinkie before a boulder is dropped on my head. Either way, the creamy filling won't do me any good. That was the case in Leviticus 26. There was bad news, to be sure. If the nation of Israel left their covenant commitment to God, they would open up a world of bad news, ultimately leading into their exile from the Promised Land. But the good news was better. God would still be with them. It's described in Leviticus chapter 26, beginning with verse 43. But the land shall be abandoned by them, and enjoy its Sabbaths, while it lies desolate without them. And they shall make amends for their iniquity, because they spurned my rules, and their soul abhorred my statutes. Yet for all that, when they are in the land of their enemies, I will not spurn them, neither will I abhor them, so as to destroy them utterly and break my covenant with them. For I am the Lord their God. But I will, for their sake, remember the covenant with their forefathers, whom I brought out of the land of Egypt in the sight of the nations, that I might be their God. I am the Lord. Although we may not like it, we need the bad news. Ignoring the bad news won't make it go away. Ignoring the bad news can be disastrous. If you're standing on a railroad track and a train is coming, that's information you need to know. Israel needed to know this news as bad as it was. God told the nation of Israel that if they followed false gods, they would face the consequences. You don't have to read the Old Testament very far to discover which path Israel chose. Unfortunately, they lived a life that led them straight into captivity. But as God gave the nation his command, even as he indicated his punishment for their violating the covenant, he also gave a promise that his judgment was not vengeful, but redemptive in purpose. Their punishment was designed to turn them back to God. Even in their rebellion, God would love them. That's the good news, found in verse 44. Yet for all that, when they are in the land of their enemies, I will not spurn them, neither will I abhor them, so as to destroy them utterly and break my covenant with them, for I am the Lord their God. One time I tried to mix cement. My dad was putting up a basketball goal, so I thought I would help by mixing the cement. I poured some of the dry mix into my dad's wheelbarrow and was about to pour in some water when my dad told me to stop. He asked me, "Have you poured in the gravel mix yet?" I didn't even know what gravel mix was, much less that I was supposed to pour it in. My dad patiently explained that the cement wouldn't work without the gravel mix. It would crack and eventually fall apart. Gravel is an essential part of cement. It doesn't work without it. We cannot experience God's blessings when we don't follow his will. The amazing thing is that when we realize God's will is best for our life, we find that God has always been there. In his forgiveness and mercy, he restores us and makes us new. What was true for the nation of Israel is true for us today. And now, you're 5 minutes closer. My prayer is that these 5 minutes have challenged you, inspired you, and caused you to consider applying God's message for your life from his word. To find out more, visit our website at 5minutescloser.com. Join me next time to see if we can get you 5 minutes closer.